UQwordcloud is an active learning tool that allows students to enter short answer responses. These answers can be up to 25 characters, so about 1 to 3 words in length. It's a great tool to use for doing any brainstorming in your sessions, whether you're wanting to check students' understanding of a particular topic area or you're wanting to start up discussions around a new topic. To access the 3 applications in this suite, you will need to go to this web address. Each UQ staff member is automatically assigned a UQ Active Learn ID and has instructor access to these tools. You will need to sign in with your standard username and password. To access the applications and set up questions for your students, you will need to click on the Change to Instructor View button. The UQ Active Learn suite comprises of the 3 applications shown. In this instance, we're looking at UQwordcloud. To get started, you can click on the Manage button and then enter in a question to ask your audience. It is recommended that you also type your question on the board or in your PowerPoint slides because the questions that are entered into this text box can only be a maximum of 64 characters. It is, however, advised that you do type in some kind of identifier for your question here, as then you can better search for it using the Show History function at a later date. So you would type in your question or an abbreviated version to identify your question in the Your Question text box. Once you enter your question, you can check a couple of options of how many responses you want the students to enter, and then you can click on Save. Students will be able to enter their responses by either accessing the Contribute Here URL address, or they can just go to the Active Learn suite and type in your Active Learn ID. In this instance, they will be directed to go to WordCloud, and this is where they can enter their responses. Once students enter a response, they can press Enter or their Go button on their phone. As the students enter responses, they will come up within your WordCloud. The words in the WordCloud will resize as more students will enter the same response. You can see the number of people that are currently signed in and entering responses in the bottom area. This is not the number of responses, this is the number of people that are currently entering them. As the instructor, you can control the responses coming in by clicking on the Stop button. If you try and enter another response now, it will not let you. To allow students to enter their response again, you can re-click on the Start button. You may also hide the display while students are entering their responses and then show it when you're ready to discuss them. You can also enter full screen mode by clicking on this button here, and then you can exit the full screen mode by clicking on the cross. From within the Manage menu, you can save the image of the current word cloud shown. You can also save the results of all the responses entered, which will identify the students that have entered that response in a CSV spreadsheet, which can then be opened up in Excel. By clicking on the Show History button, you'll be able to view any previously entered questions and download the responses from those times. To clear the word cloud, you will need to click on the Reset Question button, which will then wipe your image and you will not be able to save the image again. So please ensure that before you reset your question, you do save the image if you would like to keep a visual record. You will always be able to download the responses in a spreadsheet from the Show History area. To return to the rest of the UQ Active Learn apps, you can press the Apps button. We hope that you enjoy using UQ Word Cloud to engage your students within your sessions.